Hey, what's going on, everyone? Gillis TV back here today with another Oilers video. Of course, the Oilers losing to the Minnesota Wild last night in a game that was really ugly. I thought they started decent. Yes, Fleury let in that fluke goal by Draisaitl. But the start, the first 10 minutes, they pushed the pace. But after that, it was all Minnesota all the way until pretty much it was 6-on-5 and shots were getting through. But that game last night, it was just terrible, and we're just going to put that in the back of our memories and go with a trade target today. But before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button as we are 77 subscribers away from 1,100 subscribers. Yeah, that's what the next goal is. So if you can hit that subscribe button, that'd be greatly appreciated. Now let's get into this. The other day, Bob Stauffer mentioned the Oilers are for sure in for right defenseman. Didn't have to be right-handed. It could have been left-handed as well. And not necessarily a puck-moving defenseman or a shutdown, but I did find a guy that kind of suits what Bob was talking about, except for the term, but a guy that even Bob Stauffer said they're probably looking at a guy that's not on anyone's radar, a guy that, hey, you go to this team and they might be, okay, yeah, let's do this trade. Not really looking to trade the guy, but if you come in with the right offer, they might be. And you know what? With this guy, he is young. I believe he is a Stanley Cup champion back when a few years ago, I do believe. Yeah, so he was a Stanley Cup champion. And that guy is Bowen Byram of the Buffalo Sabres. Now, you might say, well, he's only 23. There's no way Buffalo will get rid of him, blah, blah, blah. We literally just gave up Ryan McLeod and Ryan McLeod and who was the other guy, for Matthew Savoy from Buffalo. Savoy has a higher potential than both of the guys we gave up. Now, Bowen Byram, I get it. He's, 23 years old, but he could be the perfect replacement for Philip Broberg, where he is the left-handed shot, but he does play the right side in Buffalo. He has played on his offside, showed really good. He does have 11 points in 19 games this season with the Buffalo Sabres, who are currently in the middle of the pack when it comes to their division. I think between Montreal being last and the third place team, it's only like 7 points, and they're in the mix of things there. So come down to trade deadline day, depending where Buffalo is, if you can package up a deal to get Bowen Byram, who could realistically be on the Oilers team for quite some time. He only makes $3.85 million AAV a season, and he is on his, I believe, last year of his deal. We're just going to check that out quickly. I pulled this up earlier, and I was kind of at work, so I had to do it with. So, yeah, he was a free agent in 23-24 and signed a 2-year, $7.7 million contract with Colorado. Then ultimately, like I said, got traded for Casey Mittelstadt. He is in his final year. So for a $3.85 million defenseman, a guy that is really good at shutting down teams and not really up to standard for his point production, which he has this year, he's starting to grow a lot. I think he could be a reliable defenseman on the right side. Like I said, I get he's young. Trying to fit him and Bouchard into the same salary cap next season might be a little difficult. But you also have to think, with Bouchard's play out lately, I don't think he's getting that $10.5 million deal like everyone was predicting after a really solid year last year. Defensively, it's not there. And you look at kind of other defensemen around the league. You look at Quinn Hughes. He's making less than $8 million a season staying in Vancouver. If Bouchard really wants to win with this group of guys, get someone else there to help the defense core, he has to take a pay cut. And I don't think Bouchard, not to rag on him here a bit, is the caliber of player that Quinn Hughes is. Quinn Hughes does a lot of good things right defensively, which Bouchard still hasn't figured out. So if you can get Bowen Byram this year, figure out the details of the next contract. He is an RFA next offseason. I know that brings back some bad memories for us Oilers fans this offseason. But if you can try and get Bowen Byram from the Buffalo Sabres and be your second pairing with Darnell Nurse, we take a look at his stats here. Like I said, 11 points in 19 games plus 7. He only has 83 career points at 183 games. So this is a plus 22. The best part about this is he's already played with superstar players in Colorado in Rantanen and McKinnon. Now, yes, McKinnon and Rantanen aren't Draisaitl and McDavid, but they're pretty well close off to both of them. Just, I believe McDavid and Draisaitl are a bit better, but McKinnon's a really good player. And playing with guys like that, he showed he could do it in his young age with the Colorado Avalanche. Now, like I said, he's 23 years old, so this year he's plus 7. He only has 10 penalty minutes, so 5 penalties in 19 games. Solid. He has no power play points, no shorthanded points. He does penalty kill, that's one thing. But the one thing that I look at, and it's time on ice, and he's averaging 22 minutes and 21 seconds time on ice this season. That is huge. If the Oilers could go snag him, and his career average is 20-21, because when his early days in Colorado, he was on the third pairing. But 22 minutes a night, you know how much less pressure that puts on Bouchard, Ekholm, Nurse, Kulak. No, hands down, Kulak's having a really good season. But if you could go get Bowen Byram, who is not looking to get points, he can when he needs, he can score goals, but is really that versatile defenseman, kind of like a Matthias Ekholm, a younger version of Matthias Ekholm. Go get it. He can play the right side. Yes, he's a left-handed shot defenseman, but he's been playing right side in Buffalo this season, and it's going to take a package. Don't get me wrong. You're getting a 23-year-old, or you're going to attempt to get a 23-year-old from the Buffalo Sabres. You know, you're going to be packaging a first. You'll have to make the cap room, but for 3.85 being off the radar, you can make that work any which way possible. And don't get me wrong, I think Ty Emberson is a trade chip for the Edmonton Oilers if they want to improve their defense. I've liked his play as of late. I think he's really coming into his own. But if they have to, they got Bo Akey. He's not as high as people think he is on the ratings. I looked that up. You got Sam O'Reilly. That's a tough one because he was really good this preseason. So even if you have to package a couple picks and a roster player or something to make this trade work and a prospect, I would do it because honestly, Bowen Byram's numbers, if you can get him playing even, he's playing 22-21 right now. If you get that down to 21 minutes a night, he's still effective. Shot blocks. He has 2 career game winning goals, and he's, I don't know what else to say. I just like the style of game. I think he's one of the guys the Oilers may look at for the right price. And because honestly, after last night's game, the pairing of Stretcher and Josh Brown, that was horrendous. I get we got 5 days off after the game on Saturday against the Rangers, where bringing bodies back in will help. But if you can somehow facilitate a trade where you're not using Josh Brown or Troy Stetcher on the same line, I get Travis Dermott was hurt, Dermott was sick and the injuries, but this defense core has been talked about before Nurse even got injured. So we'll see what goes on there. I don't see them moving Brett Kulak due to the fact that he's been one of our best defensemen all year, if not the best. But let me know in the comments if you think the Oilers should go after Bowen Byram. It's going to cost a pretty penny. I know that. You're going to have to lose some assets, but you're getting a 23-year-old player that if you sign long-term, that's 8 years from now. If you give up a few first-round picks or 1 first-round pick and prospects, 8 years down the road, those picks might not even pan out or prospects. So that's pretty much it for me today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Gillis TV. Have a good one.